Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. This is the super early for you Central Folk section of the 72-hour live stream. I didn't have the Blogspot posting come up. That was you just all watched Bunny Bricks with guests, with Grandma Bunny Bricks, I think Grandma Badger, and then Bluegrass was in there a little bit, I believe. I think they had Brickable Cow did a little bit. No, that was Friday. Okay, so I'm looking at Sunday now. And then after this, we've got Brick Hive with Good Morning Brick World, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Thanks for everybody for being here. Let's switch over to the chat and see if we've got people coming in. Hello, Gary. Hello, Ian. Hello, Ruth. Hello, Bunnabricks. Hello, Miss Amby. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for being here early. We realize you have a choice in your viewing of video streams, so we thank you for choosing Ben's Brick Designs. Miss Ingrid, hello. Good morning. So this is a little different from what you're used to with me. You used to just see me solo rambling for 2 hours and either building or designing, but there is a thing I was not aware of. Good morning, Tony the Toenail. You are a toenail. We're going to do something a little special today. I have with me Vab's workshop, Kyle, but we call him Vab. He is from the Steel City Lug up in PA. And I met him through another Steel City Lug person, Johnny Builds, and I will put their stuff up on screen. And we did this last week. Some of you may have seen. Johnny's actually having some technical issues. We worked this out Thursday and it was fine. But we're doing a special thing today where we are doing a build together in studio. So this is something that I wasn't really aware of that you could do until I think Vab said it. Where we could have the studio app open and we'd be able to work together on something. And what it turned out to be was a big fun mess of stuff. And we didn't really do anything together. We just kind of did it simultaneously. So what we're trying to do is get Johnny in, and he's never worked with studio. So we were going to work with him on kind of teaching him how studio works. This is some software that I think everybody is aware of, but a lot of people don't play with a whole lot. So we thought it'd be cool to introduce it to people. At the same time, I'd like to introduce my fun. I don't know if you've been able to connect, Vab, if you're in or not.
I'm in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just shut it off because I'm trying to get the host ID and everything set up for studio.
Oh, okay, cool. So this was another fun thing that when I was getting ready to go to Brick Rodeo here in Texas, which was in Sugar Land, Texas. Next year will be in Austin, Texas. So make sure everybody comes to Brick Rodeo next year. Austin, Texas, July 4 weekend. I will be there helping out. I'll have stuff on display. Make sure to come. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I needed to add music. That's what I needed to add. Music, background music, and we're going to do lo-fi. Make sure the volume's not up that loud. All right. The music's too loud, y'all let me know. So, I was typing to a friend about getting Classic Space something done, and my autocorrect corrected me to do Vlasic Space, What's up, Haley? So I went into Studio Part Designer, and I put the Vlasic Pickle guy on all the classic space pieces that I could think of. And so now we're doing Vlasic space. So these are pickle-based spaceships with the Vlasic logo on it. And oh wait, we do have somebody in here. Hi, Johnny.
Hello. Is it working?
It's working. I can see
Wow.
and hear you.
Whoa.
You got a face?
Shh. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
this is Johnny's face, everybody. He's gone faceless this whole time up until now.
Nope,
No, he went away. So while he
man.
tries to figure out how to do a screen share, a second camera, this is what I'll put all of this on here. So one of these is Vab working on it, and one of these is me working on it. And you can see, like, I can see what he's building, and he can see what I'm building. So it's kind of fun. The last stream we did last week, he built a pickle lightsaber, which I think was fantastic. We were talking
Which
about
I so want to build.
yeah, like in real life, I really want to build this. So we were talking about putting like giant wagon wheels on as the emitters, and then you could take the blade off and actually make this a pickle mobile, which is fun. And then he was starting to do some giant like rocket cylinder kind of work with the pickle colors. So
Is
I'm
it
still
better to
recovering.
share my window, or is it better to share the screen?
Window capture.
Window yeah,
capture?
because
Okay.
the screen will show up any like browser or other application, but if you just share the window, it'll just focus on that.
There we go.
So,
Okay.
Got this now added.
Yay.
Yay! All right, so
First
this is
time in
Johnny's.
studio.
This is Johnny's first foray into Studio. So this is partially like, hey, this is a fun thing that we're also doing, but we're also introducing him to work in the software. For those not aware what this is if you go to bricklink.com and go up to the top and select Studio, and Studio Download, I think is the link. There is a free software that will allow you to build Lego models digitally. And was the L-Draw parts library. Oh, well, I guess they still have that up there. I don't think they're doing that anymore. I think they're using the Lego parts library now. Or
I think that's where they started.
Yeah.
So it was made possible originally by the L-Draw.
Exactly.
What studio is still used by Eldra?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
So this is Lego has since bought Bricklink, or not bought, but they've entered into an agreement with Bricklink.
Right.
A lot of the Bricklink designer program stuff is fulfilled by Lego. Other than that, they haven't really broached the Lego naming conventions, the color conventions, anything like that. The Bricklink site still operates on its own. Sellers and buyers there can function pretty independently, but they do offer this software that's free, and it's a CAD-based program that's very, very easy to use. So I had Johnny pull it up for the first time since he's never used it. I thought it'd be a fun stream to go through and kind of run through the easiest bits of what it does for him and for anybody else who's watching who may be interested in it. So thanks everybody for being here. I hope you're enjoying the 72-hour stream. This is the last day of it, and we'll go till midnight tonight, I guess. If you go to, and I'm gonna see if I can pull up the address for it. It's in the description of the video, but I'll put this in the chat as well. If you go here, it'll have a list of who's next, who's left to go today. We've only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 after this, and it'll go till midnight tonight. Brick Hive, Will Bricks, Family Bricks, the Brick Bods, Pick and Bricks, Holland and Ballin, and the Brickhead family. So make sure to visit all them. Go to that blog spot, check out the channel, subscribe to them if you can, if you'd like, and all that fun stuff. So, if you have any questions, Johnny, make sure to raise them
Oh, I will be.
I see you've already jumped into throwing some torsos up there. So there are two ways of finding pieces. Let's start there. And you can type in the search field over there, like whatever you'd like. But also if you X that out, oh, you just went Blacktron. I love it.
That's
You
kind of my
can
thing.
the category, the shapes category there, you can kind of drill into each of those and look for the part that you want. I've been trying to do that because sometimes it's a little faster than typing it every time, but it's a personal preference, whatever you like doing.
Right.
So let's see if we can get you to join our fun pickle build as well. So if you go up to the top where it says brick link and select build together, and you should be able to put in the host ID is XADRIAN. And that was my screen name for a long time for a lot of things. And hit join and it should do it. Oh, are you signed into Bricklink? I don't know if
I
it'll.
am.
Okay, cool.
Yep, it's loading. So it's
All right, so this is an option I wasn't aware of until like a week ago, where you can build in the same space together. And you can see now he can see what we're all seeing. So this is super cool. So he can build along with us. He can, like, all these parts are available for us to manipulate. Excuse me. So he can go in and do whatever he wants to, whatever pieces that we've got available, move around the parts, add to them, take away from them. This is a great building tool. Good morning, Grandma Badger Bricks. How are you? Thanks for being here.
Good morning, everybody.
So if anybody in the chat has questions about Studio, or Johnny, if you have questions about Studio, feel free to put them in there. Let us know. It's pretty easy to jump into and kind of just go with. It doesn't take the learning curve is very shallow, and the tool itself is pretty. I wouldn't say it's pretty robust. There's a lot of tools that it could have that it doesn't, but from designing your own models to being able to upload parts lists to Bricklink, to being able to do renders, to be able to make instructions, and to be able to do at least minimal animation, I feel like it's a very good starter tool.
So here's a first question. So I figured the first thing I would want to do is Vab has his little tile that he's created down here. So I figured I would make a tile with my little Lego guy on there. But okay. I cannot, so I can rotate the screen just fine. Yeah. How do I slide the screen down? Like I'm doing both buttons, left click, obviously
left shift.
Rotates.
If you hold shift and then do left click and drag it around. So hold shift and that'll shift your perception. Now, to make a tile or to make fun, I'm gonna put mine up here real quick. Yep. To make these fun bits with the Vlasic. Good morning, Mariana. Mariana's a stream friend from Portugal. So good morning, boa tarde to you, because I'm sure it's the afternoon already over there. He and his daughter, that's Walter. So he and his daughter do streams where they build microfighters. And it's very cute. And I can't understand any of it because it's in Portuguese, but he's always been a friend of the channel and builds micros as well. So you got to love him. To get these special I will be coughing a lot and I apologize. To get these special logos onto the parts, there's another tool called Part Designer, and I'll pull that up real quick. This is getting into a little more in depth, but this is kind of how we're able to do this. And I'm going to turn that off real quick, but then add a nope. Share. Stop sharing
Bab's
screen.
just showing me off.
Window. Part designer. Oh, part designer doesn't want to be picked. Why does it keep?
Was there an update in between the last time we streamed and today? I don't think there was.
Not to Studio that I'm aware of. It was weird. It didn't want to be picked up. This didn't want to be picked up by Windows, so I had to do the whole monitor. Anyway, this is another application called Part Designer. And I don't use it a whole lot. I've used it like twice since I've started doing this. But this gives you the option to get images and put them onto pieces. So if you have an image that you'd like to put onto a piece that you can use digitally, so you can render it digitally with that image on it, this is where you do that. I was able to do this. Let's see if I've got, if I put it in here. So I also did this for my Q2 Stadium. I needed the logo put on the roof tiles. So I found an image, and I'll show you how to do it here in a second. So I found an image and basically put it on this, and then this whole thing gets saved out. And back here in Studio, once you've saved that and then closed and reopened Studio, because it has to read a DAT file. If you come over here into custom parts and then do a search for your slope, it'll show you all the slopes available from your parts designer, and you can put them over here. So that's how that works. Again, that's, you can start doing that right away, or it's something that you can play with as you go along. But there's a lot to do in Studio first. And there's Vab's website. I can put that on here.
So I can't put an image directly onto this tile as it exists right now, is what you're saying?
No, you have to go into Part Designer to do that.
Okay.
It's a separate application.
All right, we'll worry about that later. Let's build some.
So let's, in the time we've been talking, this is what Bab's working on. Is this your heavy? Or is this...
It looks like
no, this is the 70th scale Saturn V rocket.
The Saturn V.
Yeah.
So there's another thing you can do in Studio, and I'll show you here in a second too. If you want a digital design of an existing set, that's something you can do as well. I've done it for a handful of things to be able to, like, one of the easiest ways to mock when you're starting to build on your own is to take an existing set and change the colors. It kind of, if you can theme bend something, turn an X-Wing into like an M-Tron X-Wing or a Blacktron X-Wing. That seems to be a really fun thing for people to do. And one of the easiest ways to do it is just replace the colors. I don't know that I've got... if I did that, and if I still have one of those, I don't. Oh, here we go. Okay. So here's one that I redid. So this was basically, I imported a model. If you go up here, and I'll show you what it looks like. If you go up here and do File, Import, and do Official Lego Set. Let's see what the snow speeder is. Lego snow speeder. There's been a few, but let's just pick one. 25144. And you put in the model number, right? Oh, that's a big one. I don't want that one.
That's the UCS one.
Yeah, I don't want the UCS one. That's going to be a problem. 75049. Let's try that one. Because what'll happen is it puts all the parts in here, right? And I should have thought of that ahead of time. Should have moved this guy, but anyway. So it puts all the pieces in here. I may have moved 1 or 2 pieces over with it, but we'll see if this can resolve this. There. Okay. Everybody's happy. Boop, boop. So I don't think this is the same model, but you get the idea. Now I can use the instructions to basically put all this together in Studio and then go through and say, okay, well, I don't want white pieces. Everything needs to be light gray. And I don't want any tan pieces. Everything needs to be blue. So what you can do is you can start with that. And then you can go over here and do upload to Bricklink. It creates a wish list. And you can buy the parts after that, what you need. Or you can just, build this like you own it, right? If you've got it already, and then just swap the parts out with any stash that you've got. But this is a way you can do it digitally. And I've done this with a lot of different sets where I've created it digitally and then, monkeyed with it a little bit. It's also a great way to, there's this extra piece in here. I think this was actually a piece. Yeah, some of these were. I've actually taken other people's builds and done them digitally. An example would be Hachiroku 24's Thunderjaw. You can see it, this guy back here, and built it digitally, so I knew which parts to order. But he did offer a YouTube video on how to build it, so that's something you can do as well. So you can import models. Sadly, you can't import them built. You have to. It would only import them as a. Welcome back, Miss Ingrid. How you doing? Yes, it has been a long 4 days, Mayo, and I'm sad I haven't been able to really watch a whole lot of it. Yesterday, we went to see the Barbenheimer double feature, which was a lot of fun, but I haven't sat through 2 movies in a row in a long time, so that was rough. Both movies were excellent. So cool. I'm really keen to close in the Friends Community Center and working pit the parts, but it's going to be a nightmare for me. Well, this is a good way to do that. Like you can get the parts set up here. Even if you don't build the set, you can at least go through and it'll import the parts, and you can go through each part and say, okay, well, I don't need that one. Or I can recolor a lot of these, or I can reorder a lot of these, and it'll give you kind of an idea of what ones you need to order, and then you can make a wish list from it. You go up here and do wish list. And this is because we've made changes. We've added parts to it, the printed parts. So yeah, so now it's a matter of we don't do custom parts now. We just do. So here's your palettes. Most of the time you just want to do main, and it'll give you a list of parts here, and you can drill down into each, and it'll change this to whatever part you need. And then over here is where you change the colors. And for default, you can have the color be turned, the option for only the known colors for that piece to be turned on. So if I select this piece, this 1x2 slope, double cheese wedge, this filter being on means that all these colors exist for this part. And there are a lot of colors for this part. This is a very ubiquitous part for Lego. If I turned this off, I could have any color I wanted, which is fine if you're doing it digitally and nobody needs to, buy the pieces or anything like that. Good morning, Gears. Gears is a fellow tech slugger up in Dallas. Yeah, it's fun, Ruth. It's it's kind of a powerful, fun tool. And yeah, you can color anything you want. This will also give you kind of an idea of how much the piece is. Like if you look down at the bottom, and this is kind of covered up so you can't really see, but at the bottom it'll say like the let's see if we can do this. Maybe better. Caption. Turn the caption off for a second. down at the bottom here, you can see like if you click on this link, it'll open it up in Bricklink. It'll tell you what the part name is, how much the average is for that part, and then its dimensions. And you can do other things like find compatible bricks that will attach to it, find alternative bricks that may be similar. I don't know what replace is. Copy and mirror just means like if I selected, let's say, this whole front group of stuff and I wanted to do it double, or let's say I wanted to do this wing section. Let's say I hadn't built this other side yet and I wanted to make another whole half of this. Get rid of that. Move over here. You can select all this and then do copy and mirror, and it'll make another whole section. You can see it like that. So that's kind of a newish tool. That's something that I think MCAD had, or yeah, Eldraw maybe had it. I forget which one had it, but Studio didn't have it for a long time, so they added it, and it was very, very useful for a lot of things. What does that one do? I like that one better. Actually, let's do this one. So yeah, there's a lot you can do with this tool. Let's see what. And both of my host people have disappeared from this. They're off doing their own thing. I love
it. We are here.
Really?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
That's so weird that I can't see it.
Yeah, still connected, still seeing everything.
I'm building a circle.
I'm building an AT-AT.
I'm gonna close and reopen. I wonder what it'll do for you guys.
It'll probably disconnect us since you're the host.
Well, hopefully we should be able to get back in pretty quick.
Here, let me try saving.
That is interesting. It's not updating.
Yeah, that was kind of the whole point.
Because it got Vab's stuff, like his little www, and then
yeah,
that was it. It didn't even catch that I deleted that little tile.
I wonder if having Parts Designer open did anything goofy to it.
Oh, that might have.
Possible.
Yeah. All right, so let's do build together.
Bye.
Yeah.
It says you're connected. Oh, there it goes.
All right, now I'm going to try again. Host.
I don't think mine ever disconnected.
Oh no. So I rehosted. So if you guys want to rejoin, I don't know what it'll do to your current builds. So you should probably save them and then copy in or something.
Oh, now I got to create a file structure. I've never done this.
File structure. Dang.
Yeah, I know. What's
Name
that?
it really long and put a lot of special characters in it.
Yeah, because then I'll never remember what it is.
Yep. And at some point, Windows won't like it. This will run on Mac. All you Mac users, it will run on Mac.
What was
I'm gonna try.
The host ID again?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah, I see stuff over there now.
That's funny. It never forcibly disconnected me. I was still kind of always connected. It was weird because I can still see all this stuff. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what it's. Excuse me. Like I haven't researched it a whole lot, so I haven't been on the forums to see like if there's known bugs or people are, complaining about it losing connection or losing your host or anything like that.
I think most people don't even know this exists. That's one of the issues.
And I think this is kind of, it feels like this would be more of a internal use tool, you know, like a group is getting together to do something and let's plan this thing and we'll work together on it because we're remote and we can't be in the office working on it together. So, all right, I need to fix this back end. So something I forgot about as part of the new releases, and we can talk about this. All right, Miss Ingrid, thanks for being here. Good luck with your 2-year-old.
Good luck
with the 2-year-old. I was going to say something. Oh, the Mars rover is also coming out in August. The Technic set, the Mars rover.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I forgot about. I was so wrapped up in Dreams and all the Star Wars stuff that was coming out that I totally forgot that rover was coming out.
We will not talk about Chewbacca.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Chewbacca what? They come out with a new Chewbacca model?
The half opposable one? Is that the one we're talking about? The one
I don't think it's even posable at all, is it?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Like, it's just a static model, I think, which is such a huge disappointment.
So another thing you can do with, I'm going to show the screen real quick. This one's good. Another thing you can do for you people, for those of you who are not familiar, you can change your standard color of the bricks that you're looking at over here. You can change them to whatever color exists, or you can click this box that says hide unavailable parts in the selected color. So what that means is, let's say you pick orange as your color now. You want your default color to be orange. You're building a lot of orange stuff, and you want your default color to be orange. If you click hide available parts, it will only show you the parts in this list now, in this palette, this main palette, that exist in orange. So if you know you're only building this, you don't want to worry about trying to figure out if that part exists or not, you can always turn that on. It's a little limiting because maybe you do want that part, but you don't know what color it exists in, and it kind of doesn't matter to you. Like, you're building a spaceship and you're greebling, and it's like, well, if it exists in black, dark gray, or light gray, fine. So you can always put the part in there and then come over here and see if that part is listed. If a part doesn't exist in a certain color, I got to get a crazier part and a crazier color. I'll turn this off. And we'll do blue violet. You can see down here all these exclamation points. That means this part doesn't exist in this color. So if you're building a model that you're going to then buy the parts for in Bricklink later, you want to make sure you don't have any exclamation points over here. Now, we're just doing this for fun. So like, we're never going to be able to get Vlasic Pickle printed tiles. If we really wanted to do this, then you'd have to get stickers and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm trying to keep at least, because I think this would be fun to show at a convention, have a table full of Vlasic space. I want to make sure that all the parts that I pick are available in the colors that I'm putting down. So you can see all the stuff I'm clicking on, it jumps down to that part and they're available. They don't have an exclamation point. So that's a useful tool. If you want to see printed bricks, if you come over here and click on this brick right here, it'll go from solid to this kind of hashed thing. That means that it will show now printed bricks, which means if I scroll down here a little bit, I can see all the available prints on this brick. It may not be in that color, so you'd have to kind of fool with the color a little bit. But if you wanted like a space, like a classic space, right? Put that out there. So that's, and you can turn this on and off because sometimes there's a lot of printed parts and you don't want to scroll through all the printed parts. Good morning, Victor. Victor Brickworks. Good morning. How are you? Poor Chewy finally thought he was getting his Lego moment and instead he missed the mark. Yeah.
Oh, super, super duper yes. Sadly, I've not to belittle Lego, but they've done that with a couple sets. I think recently, like the Corvette, I'm not happy with.
So I don't think I'm a huge the creator car
Mm-hmm.
models. I love those, and I've got most of those. I think the only one I didn't get was the Charger for some reason. I felt like it was kind of small. But I was excited to see that the Corvette came out, and then when I looked at it, I was like, that front end looks a little off.
Yes.
And so, like, I'm not a car person in general, so I went and kind of researched it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I can see, I know, like, mentally 3 or 4 parts they could have reused for the front end that would have made it a ton better, and I don't know why they didn't. Like, if I'm seeing that kind of stuff, it's like, y'all should see it too. But there's always internal design decisions, I'm sure, that they go through where I don't know what their choice is a lot of cases, like why they picked certain things and not other things. Part limitations, weight, cost, I don't know. Victor, you're unfamiliar to me. Glad that you're here watching. We're working in studio, part of the 72-hour stream. Where are you hailing from? Are you here in the States? Is it late night for you in Australia? Like, we've got a couple people in here. So now that we've turned Johnny onto studio, I feel like the streams are going to be, you're going to do 2 streams a week now instead of 1. You're going to do your regular build stream on Tuesday, and then you're going to figure out another, hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to do design stream time.
I mean, it might be a once in a while thing because I'm going to be floundering through studio for quite a while, I'm sure. But it is, I mean, because it's such a useful tool. But yeah, my passion is building, and I build big sets, and that's kind of been my thing for a while. And I've wanted to get into studio for a long time. It's just I had not done it to this point.
Yeah. Well, and it's not as, I know a lot of people say that, and they're like, I just, I don't know where to start with it. And I feel like they think it's more daunting than it really is. And it's not really. It's point and click. There's tools that you have to find and discover and work with, but the act of like getting a piece onto the build area and just adding more pieces and coloring it and doing whatever is super easy. And I encourage everybody to give it a try at least once.
It's free.
And it's free. Big words right there. Free.
That's the best 4-letter word that you have. It's free.
Yep.
And the best part about Studio is you can build pretty much any set in it, do anything you want in it, and it's all free.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to actually buy the parts to build your kits or specific kits or whatnot, it's just a free program.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't know if this is going to show my window or not. This is actually, so for those of you who followed my channel a lot, I want to show you what I've done. These are all done in studio. So all of these microfighter designs, all of these have been done in studio over the last 5 years. So this is something that you can do regularly, and like and if you've watched my stream, it'd take 2 hours to do one of these. It's nothing, I mean, sometimes you get more complicated stuff and it takes a little longer, but something at 100 pieces, an hour, 2 hours, it's not that hard to do. Just to throw an idea out there, get it out of your head, and then tweak it as you go, and it becomes a lot more fun to play with. To me, it's faster than trying to build with whatever your stash is in some cases, because you're hunting for pieces and you don't know if you've got the right color, and you may end up digging for a lot of different things, where it's here, it's like everything's at your fingertips. So it's very powerful.
I can see it being.
You live behind Pikes Peak. Do you live in Woodland Park? That's behind Pikes Peak. That's my mom lives up there. Colorado's my stomping grounds. I haven't lived there in like 25 years, but I was born and raised up in suburbs north of Denver.
I can see it being kind of somewhat disappointing too, because you make this wonderful model, then you're like, how much is this going to cost?
Oh, 100%. Like when I'm building stuff, the biggest problem I have is like, well, I can't use that part because that's a $7. And you've seen me do that where I'm like, nope, that part's $7. There's no way I can do that.
I just found a part that was there was only 3 available in the entire United States.
Ooh,
Oh, I've seen those too. Yeah, it's like, oh no.
It was a robot arm with a clip on it in dark bluish gray. Only 3 available in the entire United States.
But there's probably like 40 somewhere in the Czech Republic.
I was thinking Taiwan, but yeah.
Yeah, whichever.
Good morning, Micah. How are you? Micah's an ex-Tech Slug person who moved away several years ago, really. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Yeah, my mom lives in Woodland Park, Colorado, which isn't really behind Pikes Peak, but it's like if you go to the Springs and you go up to Pikes Peak and you keep going, so there's like Manitou, and then you keep going, then you end up in Woodland Park. And then you end up, I think past that is Florissant, and I think you end up in Granby after a while, if you take that highway. Oh, Cripple Creek. Okay, cool. No, I know exactly where that is. I was just up at Cripple Creek a little while ago. Kind of weirdly dead and full of casinos now. It's kind of weird. Still gorgeous. Like every time we go up there, I have a great time.
So is your version of the models, is it updating?
Oh, let me see. Yes.
Okay,
now I
good.
can see whatever you're building. So this is what Johnny's building. Oh, okay. So here's a thing that I can explain a little bit. The clear parts here mean that it is colliding with something. That means it's not fitting properly. There is a thing you can do to make it snap to a grid or snap to a part. Up here at the top, you've got snap. You can turn that on and off. You can do. You can change your grid. This is how the pieces move when you use your WS keys. So if I copy one of his pieces and put it over here, and I use my WASD keys to move forward and back, left and right? That's very granular based on that grid. If I change this to a chunkier grid, it moves in bigger chunks. Full stud, right? Full stud, half a stud. And then this one is like a fifth of a stud. It takes a while for it to move. So that's how you can move your pieces granularly using those keys. Your arrow keys rotate it in space. So it spins it on that axis, and then spins it on this axis. Jesus. You can also right click and do, well, no, not right click. If you left click on a piece and pick this, you can also you can pick rotate, and this will give you this option to spin it however you want. And you can manually type in the degrees in here. You can also do that by hitting H, and it will allow you to turn it. An odd little town that's dead and sort of alive. It died, I think, died off. Cripple Creek died. There's a lot of that. It was that, like Black Hawk, Cripple Creek. I'm trying to think of what else. Parts of Estes Park were like this. Farther up, I think. Estes Park had a ski town in it, though. There are a lot of small towns in Colorado, small mountain towns that kind of died, but then got casinos, or the ability, not casinos, but you could either have casinos or have gambling. So they put slot machines everywhere, and they kind of revived them for a little bit, like in the 90s, and then it sort of died off again. So it's just gorgeous country up there, and I just don't understand why there's not more going on if there's not ski season, But anyway, so that's movement of the pieces. If you turn on snap, like this has snap on already, that means that it'll snap to another piece, right? So it'll snap to whatever studs are available. If I turn snap off, it won't do that. It'll just kind of go wherever your cursor goes. you can line it up with your WASD keys to fit, but it's very time consuming and stupid. But that's if you're using hinges and whatnot, and it's easier to kind of work that way. If you turn collision off, you can see how this all suddenly shows up really nicely because I turned collision off. So now it won't show you if there's a problem with your connection. And this is really useful if you know in real life, like you've built it and it may be a little finicky. It's a friction build. It kind of just rests on something, but you know it works. You can turn that off so that it's not as distracting. But it's helpful to know, like, oh, I pulled a piece in here from the side and I forgot about it and it's living in here, and oh, that's where that piece is. So that's a useful tool. Another useful tool, and this wasn't one that I knew of originally, but if you use connect, this next to collision up here, you hit connect and you pick, these are all the connectable points on a brick, these little squares. Let's say you want this whole thing to sit on top of this whole thing. So you'd pick the bottom section, which is basically, if I can find it, the tube under here, right? Pick that part, and you want it to sit on top of this part. So you select that part. It'll just automatically connect to it like that. That's useful if you have giant bits of stuff that you want to connect to another giant bit of stuff. And I don't think it's, I think Vab's working on a different thing. Did you pull that into the workspace?
No, this will shut down your computers. I'm sorry, but
no, that's I'm fascinated. This is actually the Vab. This is actually great.
This was my first mock.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is
assembly building. Something
else you can do. You can do these giant models in it, and if your computer has enough memory, you can build like huge models in it. What's your piece count on that?
Give me 1 second, and I'll tell you the exact. It is 177,449.
Wow. Well, that beats mine. I was gonna do my capital.
And the estimated part total for it is $63,222.222 US dollars to build. And that's not including
$63,000 to build.
63, yeah.
That's not much. Pocket change.
Yeah, but that's a lot with unavailable parts and everything that's in here because I went in and did special decaling and everything. Just to finish it up. And this was this mock was actually my claim to fame. I ended up getting in Brick Journal episode issue 66 of Brick Journal. I was allowed to. The editor contacted me and wanted me to do a article on it.
Are you going to try to actually build this in real life, or is this just?
Yes, I definitely want to build it. It is a beast. I cannot wait to build it. The main issue is that this might not look very big on screen, but in real life,
I can tell by the way it rotates real slow that it's huge.
It's 12 foot wide, and I believe it's going to be about 10 foot deep, or 9 foot deep, excuse me.
Because it has to fit, you're going to try to, it'll fit like a Saturn V, right?
Yeah, the Saturn V you have above your head on your shelf.
Yeah.
That's what it's scaled to. It's that exact model.
Yeah, that's amazing. And if anybody hasn't toured this is something you can tour in Cape Canaveral.
I don't think they're doing tours right now to go actually inside because of SLS going on.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain they won't allow people actually in there.
We did it during the shuttle days, and there was limited access. Like we couldn't go in most of the working areas, but there was like some like outer buildings that you could go. And they would have a place to view stuff, some like exhibits and things like that. But you couldn't get into like the bulk of it.
Yeah, honestly, I've never been there. Everything that you see here was designed off of paper.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nuts.
No, it's amazing. So yeah, I mean, this is something you can do. Now, this is the same thing. I haven't even tried opening this, so I'm going to open mine just to see how it handles it. Because this is another thing that you can do. Where did it go? I don't think it's in Lego. I think it's in Texas Capital. You can build giant models like this, but your computer has to be able to handle a certain part amount. My old computer couldn't handle anything more than about 60,000 pieces. It would shut down.
This program is a very RAM driven program,
and
it leaks a lot of RAM. I built my computer specifically for this program. I'm running a 9670 Threadripper with 256 gigs of RAM.
Whoa.
Yeah, I spent some money on building this computer around this program specifically, and let me tell you, there is a cap to it. Once it gets above a certain amount of RAM, the program starts freezing up. It starts crashing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So my computer is barely going to be able to handle the stream as we're doing this, but this is my claim to fame, and I actually built this, and it's at the Capitol here in Austin. It's at the Visitor Center. A couple of things I noticed, that if you turn off collision and snap, it frees up some memory because it doesn't have to think about those interactions. Yeah, this is about 65,000 pieces, but it's completely hollow. Once we actually added a few structural things inside it, it's probably more like 70. And there's
amazing how many Capitol buildings look like the Capitol.
Oh yeah, they're all a dome, you know. But this is what I was talking about the other day. Is like, this is an odd-sided dome, so it's got 20 sides. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 per quarter. So you have to build internally, and these are just leaves. You know, sitting on hinges, and you got to turn the hinges, you know, certain ways to make them all attach. This was not fun. And then once it was built, so this whole thing, the dome sits on its own. I'm going to turn this off because I know it's chewing up my memory. I can see everybody's cameras getting all choppy and everything. It sat on its own like metal plate. So it was like a cake, right? It's just, there's the main building, and then there was a couple wings, and then the outer wings, and then the dome itself was its own build and sat on a metal plate, so I could just kind of carry it and set it where it needed to go. So we're transporting it to the Capitol, and we're driving down the highway here in Austin, and it sucked because it was rush hour and there's a lot of traffic, and we're about halfway there, and a school bus just goes right in front of me and slams on its brakes.
Oh no.
And I slam on my brakes, and the dome just basically collapses all through. We had it in a big Suburban, and it just collapsed all underneath the front seats, and it was completely destroyed.
Oh no.
So we had to on-site rebuild the dome, like, once we got there, and it took about 6 hours, and I had a handful of like lug members come out and help, and it was terrible. But yeah,
so how long did it take, just that part? How long did that take?
Just to rebuild the dome?
Yeah.
Like, so we got there at about 9 or 10 o'clock, and it was about 3 o'clock when we finally got it finished.
Whew.
Yeah.
And you had people help it. That's
yeah. Well, and I didn't have a computer with me because I didn't think I'd need it. So I was having to go off memory of like what it was built like. I was like, well, I remember building it, so I remember what it was like, but I guess this piece goes here. I don't know, you know.
How many extra pieces did you have?
None.
Wow.
And I was terrified that we were going through the car. It was a friend's Suburban she let us borrow, And so we were like crawling under the seats and making sure it wasn't like we weren't missing 1x1s and 1x2s and stuff like that. But it was very harrowing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Mayo. It's fun to be able to get in here and kind of just have your ideas come out fairly quickly. And also being able to see, like, could this be done in real life? And I need to build a small vehicle to put in the back of this. So I got into doing studio because I wanted to, I don't know how I saw it. I think I was using, or I was trying to use L-Draw at the time. And I think I wanted to recolor, or I wanted to get the parts for the San Diego Comic-Con. I think it was like 2013. There was an exclusive model that came in a tin can that was Slave One.
Oh.
And I didn't want to spend $200 because I had just started buying microfighters, and I loved microfighters when they came. When they originally came out, I was like, these are whatever. But then I started buying them and building them, and I'm like, these are fantastic. Mm-hmm. These are exactly what Lego is supposed to be. They're supposed to be small, playable, build fast for kids, right? These are wonderful. And I was like, this opens up a world of opportunities for like all other Star Wars stuff. I was like, I want this one, the Slave One, but I don't want to spend $200 on basically what amounts to the tin and the figure and the instruction booklet that you can only get from San Diego. So I was like, well, I'll buy the parts online. And I think in the process, I was like, what is this studio thing? Because now I can do a Jango Fett Slave One. So I just built it in this software and then changed all the colors. I was like, oh, what other thing can I do? You know, so it just snowballed after that. So and it was so fast and easy that it was like, I was addicted like immediately. What's up, Brett's Builds? How's it going? Miss Ingrid, don't have a computer yet. I have a laptop, no internet. I will someday. This works.
Laptop is a computer.
Yeah, laptop. I worked on a laptop on this. It works fine. If you've got enough memory, if you've got a modern amount of memory, this works for small builds. You know, This isn't, it doesn't take all that much. It's when you start getting into the tens of thousands of pieces that you need.
I'm on a laptop right now. That's what I'm using.
You don't need internet connection. I mean, if you can go to the public library with a floppy drive, or an SSD
flash drive,
flash drive, that's it.
Yeah.
You can download it for free from there and then plop it on your own laptop.
And it's not that big of a download.
The only time you'll need internet connections if you're trying to get everything onto Berklink.
Yeah, if you just launch it, it won't make any connection. So you should be good to do that.
Yeah, it's only if you wanted to log into your Bricklink account.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be 3x3. Oh, I needed to.
All right, so here's a question. So I've got, if you look at what I've done so far, this whole area here that I just did, this little part with like the bottom, I guess you could say mouth. How do I want to select just the mouth part that I've done and move it kind of out of the way and extend it out from where it's at. What would be the easiest way to be able to select? Because obviously I can like select, but that selects a lot of stuff. How do I get in there and do the nitty gritty and just be like, I want these couple things?
So are you just trying to pick Like if you just want to pick that one piece, or
no, I want so I want like this whole part that connects to like this. So this little whole area right here. I guess I can just, since I moved that piece out of the way. Whoops, I don't want to do that.
yeah, hit escape. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to do like this yellow piece, these couple pieces here, so I can just hold down control and just select these few things. Oh, okay, it's not updated in the whole thing.
So if you want to do, let's say you want to break this part up. Okay, so if you want to select this whole thing, you can hit copy, control copy, right? You can also do, if you right click on it, you can ungroup it. So if I right click on it and I do submodel release,
okay,
now it's all its individual parts.
Okay.
If you want to group something together, you hit control G and it'll do group. So now it's a group again. So if you want to do that with yours, let's say you could highlight all of yours and hit group. Now it's all one big group. And then to release it, right click, submodel release.
I gotcha.
I don't know if that helps. There's another thing you can do. That made me think of this. Let's say you wanted to select all the black parts in this. If you hit Shift V, your cursor is a V. Okay. If you hit Shift V, it'll change your cursor, and you can see what it's doing up here. You can also pick by. Let me drag this up here. You can also pick by, if you go up to select, you can pick what type of cursor you want. You can also hit Shift V until you see the cursor you want. So this is a standard cursor with nothing. This is, I'm picking all black pieces. It's got a palette, so it'll pick by color. This it'll pick by type, so it'll pick these two pieces, or it'll pick all these pieces because that's all the same type. No, that's connection, sorry. Anything that's connected. This is by type, so it'll pick just those rounded plates. This is by type and color. It'll pick anything that's that type and color. And then there's also select inverse. So I don't know what that means. I think it's just like the connections that are on that, but that aren't that part. So if you're trying to connect or select just a certain area of things, maybe that are just that part. I don't know.
Right.
Does that answer your question at all?
Yes, that's not my model, but yes.
This isn't yours?
I'm not working on that, no.
Oh.
Go over to the Landwalker.
Oh, this is yours. Oh.
Yeah, I figured it out. So this is what I was trying, the whole mouth part that you see on the ground there now. Yeah, right. That was right above your cursor. Yeah. So, okay. I figured that out. So.
Okay. Yeah, so now you can break this up to release if you wanted to just pick a certain part of it.
Right. Yeah. No, I was trying to get just those components, but yeah, so all right, got it.
Yeah, it's you can drag around to get certain things. Get them, and you can change the angles. Here's another thing you can do. Your number pad will change the view.
That's nice.
To be like exactly in front or behind, which is helpful if you know you want to select. Let's say you're building up on a plate. And you want to select, like, let's say your foliage level, but it's 3 plates up. So if you go to like one of these views and you select, and you're able to zoom in with your wheel, as long as you don't change your orthographic view or whatever, orthographic, you can zoom in and drag around and it'll stay completely dead in front. And then you can select down to a certain part. You can see how it like goes down to just that part.
Right. Okay.
So that's
that
helpful.
Is cool.
You can also you can hide parts. I'm going to use yours as an example. Let's say I want to hide all these things because I want to get down to the stuff underneath it. If you hit L, they disappear, but they're not gone.
Right.
You can see it's got the L also changes the cursor to an eye with a slice through it. Anything that I click now will disappear. But they're just hidden.
Right.
If you go up here and you can see 11 items hidden and you just hit show, they all come back.
That's useful.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're working on like a big building and you want to get in the side of it, you can select a whole swath of it and just hit hide, and then you can still work in there.
Well, that's why I moved that one piece that you see that I just put back. It was I was like, oh, because I got to control. I got to copy all that stuff. But yeah, that's even more useful. I like that.
Yeah, you were. I was over here looking at this weird contraption, and they're like, "I want to move this mouth," and I'm like, "Mouth? What mouth? Are you making a sandworm? I'm not really sure what this is."
Does it make
anybody?
I wanted to ask you, get you guys' opinion on it. That is a technique that I just came up with for a build I'm doing.
Okay.
I wanted your opinion to see if that would actually work. It's going to have some weight on the outside ring. With a bunch of rocket engines and side panels on it.
Let's turn collision on. Nope.
Well,
no, as a technique though, yeah.
Here's the thought though, that round eight round would actually twist in there. So those a lot of those will actually connect up. So it's kind of like a twist function to it.
Hi, Family Bricks.
Hello, Family Bricks. How are you? I like it. If it supports, yeah, because then you can, if you were to change this to, you could change it to 2 wide or whatever length would fit, and then these could twist to accommodate that. Like if they came out a little farther, you might be able to do 4s on this.
Well, that's the outside edge is the edge I need. So
gotcha. Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to get some opinions on it, and
I mean, if it'll work, obviously, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I would maybe also do like
now it's going to be up another level, and then
I would do like these guys. Oh, snap is off. And then an axle between them just to hold the plates together a little better.
An axle stopper all the way up just to hold everything together.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a nice large cylinder going to be connected to it going up.
Perfect. Yeah, that looks great. I'd love to see what you come up with for like the walls basically, like around it, the shaft, or not the shaft, but the casing area.
Well, if I get to it this Wednesday, it'll be on the live stream this Wednesday.
I will watch Wednesday. Provided there's not another World Cup game.
Right.
I don't think there is.
Going on? They're not finished with that yet?
They're still in group play.
Oh, okay.
The quarterfinals don't start till next week.
Oh, well, I'll be interested once I get the finals.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I was kind of rooting for Ireland too, and then they got eliminated despite the fact that they had there's a player in Ireland that I'm like, I told my wife, I was like, this is my new girlfriend. This player for she's amazing. Mostly because she's just a really good player. But she had an Olympico goal, which is you take a corner kick and it just basically bends in and goes into the back corner of the goal. Oh, it was beautiful.
The people that can put the spin on the ball like that, it just, whoa.
It's easier than you think. You just, because most people, when they kick a soccer ball, they kick it dead on. Top of their foot, just like that. What you have to do is you have to kick it slightly harder, but like the outside of your foot has to hit like the outside of the ball. So you're putting a spin on it. And if you hit it, I mean, it's basically lift on the ball. Like you're rotating it and creating an air pocket on one side that it has to correct for. It's basic physics, man. But yeah, it's hard to like learn how to do that.
Right.
Oh, that's weird. Copied and pasted over here.
Very interesting.
That's not pickle-like. For those joining late, this is Vab and Johnny. Please subscribe to their channels as well. They are not part of the 72-hour stream, but they've been friends of my channel for a while, and I like what they do, and they're good people. So
well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Vab stuff up here. He's also at vabworkshop.com. So vabworkshop.com. So there's you may not know this person, Vab, but there's a lady who does a lot of NASA space builds named Leah Chan.
I have talked to her. I have never met her in person.
Okay, just want to make sure you guys know each other because I know she's been the person that I've been watching with space stuff for years.
Yeah.
She's out of Dallas. I think I actually met her once, but it was years and years ago. I think she was at one of our early conventions.
I was supposed to go to Brick Universe in Harrisburg this year, but due to reasons, I can't make it this year. So,
all right.
So I was supposed to meet her then, and Brick Universe is actually looking forward to me and her finally getting to meet and everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a big deal type thing.
I think it will too. I mean, she's got a lot of stuff to put in that building.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing about Leah Chan. A lot of her stuff is all hand done. She doesn't use CAD programs or anything.
No, it's completely built. Yeah. Built
stuff, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, which is nuts.
She has that. She's got a great illuminated one with I forget which rocket it was, but she's got the clouds.
Yeah,
blast,
and that's what she's really known for is the plumes.
Mm-hmm. And it's all lit up inside. It looks amazing. But like she's done gantries, she's done rovers, she's done satellites, she's done like a whole bunch of stuff. Did she do a crawler? I think she did a crawler too, right?
Yeah. She's done shuttles, Saturn V, everything from Apollo era, pretty much shuttle era. Mm-hmm. Her new one is, I think, the SLS. She's even got Falcon, the Falcon 9 rocket on there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't hate her, but she definitely makes me reconsider my skill level sometimes.
Hey,
as do a lot of builders. I'm like, man, stop it.
And once you find your own way, you can start doing things. It's that. I mean, I think she just was at the right place, right time with what she can do.
Yeah. Well, and everybody does that. They'll settle into their niche. When they figure out what they like doing, what they're good at. Need a little go-kart for the back of my thing because all classic space has a little go-kart that goes in the well, I'm going to complain about my lug a little bit because
oh no.
We got a LAN opportunity. And this is on the heels of us. We just had a meeting. Panelists and guest count as 72 hour. Yep. Yeah. Welcome to the fun, guys. On the heels of our last meeting where I'm talking about like lug, not functionality, activity and being recognized as an active lug and what that means and making sure to like take part in opportunities that are given and going out and finding events to partake and being more involved in the community and all this kind of stuff, right? Clicking Cliff, what's up? Glad to see you.
Hey, there's clicking.
Steering wheel. We get an opportunity from the lug or from the LAN, which is kind of cool in that they have a oh no, he's not copied.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which there's an opportunity to work with Lego on a small build.
Why wouldn't you do that?
And it's like you get to work with the team to design. It's the power of play. They want like small playable sets.
Oh yeah.
So so they want somebody who's good at building like small models to be part of this. So I was like, we've got lots of people in my group who do lots of small builds, me included, right? And I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to do it because I'm the one who does all the small builds. I'm like, I do, but I know our group has a lot of people who do really good stuff. So I copied all the information from the land posting and I emailed our group and got 0 responses.
Oh no.
And I'm like, really? Like, you don't even have to like know that you're very good at something just to like try it out. Right? Even if you don't think you're a great builder, here's an opportunity. Maybe they'll pick you. You don't know. Like I'm like, this is a paid thing. Like, I know I have to turn this around in like 3 days because we found out like Thursday. I was like, but if you're interested, this is a paid thing. If you get picked, you get to work with the Lego group. They will pay you. It's commission based. And you get to work with them to design, like, it's like a gift with purchase set in the US and Canada or something, some exclusive thing. And I was like, send me like links to your Instagram or send me stuff to your, Flickr page or something like that. 0 responses. And I'm like,
that's like a golden opportunity there to just be like, look what I worked on,
Yeah, exactly. And I got like 0. And I'm like, come on, folks. So it was kind of sad, but I'm like, okay. So that's my gripe. So we have a guy in our group who's a RFLM. So he's a fan media person. He's a Instagram guy. Justin Brady Joyner. I forget what his handle is because I just know him in person, so I forget what his handle is. I think it's just Justin's Bricks or something like that. Anyway, yeah, Brady Joyner Bricks. So he also applied for this, but he builds small stuff like all the time. I was texting and I'm like, I'm really mad at our lug for not, like, nobody took advantage of this. And he's like, well, I know you and I did. I'm like, of course we did, because we heard about it. But the fact that nobody else did was kind of a bummer. And so I think it's one of those where maybe I feel like that was a niche that people didn't want to partake in, maybe. I don't know. Three by 3 plate. So any other questions you got about the software? Anybody else have questions about Studio?
It is definitely a very CAD-like program, but I've used AutoCAD in the past and stuff, and obviously it's changed over the years and things like that. But it's very, very easy to play with and stuff. And again, there's lots of nuances I'm sure that I don't know yet, but it's pretty neat.
My suggestion to any new users to it is to go onto lego.com, get a bunch of small manuals, like 150 pieces, and just start building. Just go buy the instruction, just go on there, build it just till you get used to it. And then go up, however, start learning how to get to the more expensive sets where they actually involve more techniques and rotations and stuff like that. And then, and that's pretty much how you learn.
Yeah. You do have the opportunity to, like I was showing earlier, you can import models. So the only thing I don't like about the import model is it puts all the pieces on the build space, right? But to me, it's almost as fast to go find the piece in your palette as it is to hunt for the piece on that build space. So that's a preference, but you can import a full model. Like if you get the model number, it'll import all the pieces, given it's not like a printed torso that doesn't exist in the database or a sticker or something like that.
So So like I was just going to, ask me like, oh, now how do I rotate these hinges? But once I grouped them and put them in the right thing, it's like, oh, you can only rotate them one way. So.
Oh, do that again. Let's see.
So if I do that, so the hinges are in there. Like I placed them in there and they were straight.
These two right here. Yeah.
Yeah. So they started like that, and I was like, well, I grouped them together as one tail, section piece or something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can rotate both of them. What's that?
You can double click them or right click them, and then you'll see hover over the little arrows. You should get a three prong for the hinges, and then you want to go all the way right, and then click on it, and then it'll take you into like a submodel screen, and then from there you can adjust your hinge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I just clicked. I clicked on it, and this little thing pops up, and then I just said, "Oh, okay. Here's my angle. I can do that." There you go. Makes it nice and easy. So if I do this again, let's copy this and then paste it. We're gonna put this one in here, and we're gonna change the angle to going a little further down. There you go.
Yep. I think what Vab was saying is if you've got that grouped and you don't want to move both of them, you can.
Oh, yeah.
What that will do, what he was suggesting, will allow you to move one without breaking the group.
Right. Gotcha.
So that's something. So here's another thing that I haven't really covered yet because we haven't got to that point. But let's say you wanted to start making instructions for any of this. If you wanted, I'm going to go back to my model over here. So this, I'm gonna open this in a new thing so you can kind of see. I'm just gonna copy this, and it's not done, but I'm gonna be as done as I'm going to for this demonstration.
Well, I broke Studio.
Congratulations.
I was wondering why we had a black screen. Did you?
Yeah, I've been trying to get back onto the group build, and every time I do it now, it just freezes up Studio.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The vehicle assembly building is what did it. It just.
Oh yeah.
The program hates that building. Once you get up over 150,000 pieces, getting close to 200,000, it's just the program just hates it.
Yeah. So here you go, Johnny. This is I'm going to build instructions out of this for other people now.
Okay.
This is the way I do it, and this isn't the way like everybody should do it, because a lot of people will suggest that you build with steps in mind, but I don't think like that. I want to get it all built, and then I'll go back and create steps for it. What's that?
Make yours the bigger one.
Oh yeah. So
that way it's easier to see. There we go. Yeah.
So if you look on the side over here, what we've been looking at to keep track of the colors, right? Everybody's been looking at this going, do we have the right colors over here, right? No exclamation points. These ones with exclamation points they're the printed tile things. I'm not worried about that. But if you notice at the top of the list, it says step 1. When you start doing your instructions, your steps are what the software will base the instructions off of.
Okay.
So what I generally do is I start by moving everything into a later step. So my first step is empty. There's nothing in here. Turn that on so you can see what you're doing at the time. So this step has nothing in it. So what I would do first is pick all the pieces that would be in step 1, and then I would move them into step 1. So now step 1 looks like that. And then step 2, so then I'll, make another step, go down here and do plus, and it adds another step. So this one's empty now. So then I go into step 3, and let's say I want to add, I need something to join those two together. Let's do these two, because this will be flat. So I'll find them down here. So I'll select these two, and it'll highlight where they are here. And then I'll drag them up and put them in step 2. Now here's step 1, and here's step 2. So you repeat that until you get to the end of the model. There's nothing in here. And then I'll do these two just to have something else. Right. So then when you go make instructions, what it does is it reads your steps the first part of it reads your steps. So there's step 1, there's step 2, step 3, and then this is step 4.
You're done.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like those drawings where it's like, here, how to draw an owl: circle, circle, line, owl, and then just do the rest. So let's say I'd finish out all the rest of those steps, right? And then you go over to your page design, and this is where it says, okay, well, I'm going to take all this stuff from your step editor, and I'm going to render it in a page, and to make it look like instructions. Step 2, step 3, until you get done. I don't know why it just has the car in there and not the rest of the build, but and then at the end you can have like a list of parts, right? Oh, that is okay. So that's, oh wow, that's huge. Can I get rid of that? Send backwards. Send to back. Yeah. So there's the model.
Okay.
So that's how I would do the instructions for something. Is I would build the thing first and then go through and create the steps to build it, step by step.
I like how it puts it over there automatically already. Like
yeah. So if you're just building, it just like will shove it in there. And I don't understand its logic for creating a step for a new thing that you put in. It might be a new group. It might be, I don't know. I don't understand it, but it does have like a handful right now already. And this happens with me too, where you can see like there's a new submodel group in here. And I think it may be because we're working in different, we're all three working on different stuff, but.
Oh yeah.
I think it booted you as the host.
Oh no.
I've been trying to get on, and now it's saying that the host, it doesn't even exist.
No,
all right, we're going to try this again.
Last time
I think what may be breaking it, and I don't know, and I'll have to research this. I'll have to read the forums. If I open a new model, it might break it.
I was thinking maybe once you went into Instruction Maker.
Yeah, that too. Raise these wheels up. All right. Yeah, so I rehosted if you want to rejoin. If not, that's fine. I can see what everybody's doing.
It never says that I've been disconnected.
I know. What's up, Scott? How's it going? Welcome to the 72-hour stream, community live stream. Make sure to we got a couple guys on here you can follow. You got Johnny. You can follow them at Johnny Builds on YouTube. Vab Workshop is Vab
Mine's
Workshop.
With a Z, by the way.
Yeah, I've got the Z on there, right? Did I get the Z on there?
I think you do. Yeah.
Johnny Builds.
Yep.
Because Johnny Builds with an S is like cabinetry and stuff. That's not him.
And it's really good cabinetry and tables and stuff, but that's not me.
Yeah. And then Vab's got a channel that he's just started doing some live streams on Wednesday. Johnny does Tuesdays, and I do Thursdays. So 3 days worth of like awesome evening streams. You can just
can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Slightly bearded dudes doing Lego stuff in the evenings in the middle of the week. The 72-hour stream is a community group, if you're not aware, that once a year, I think usually once a year, sometimes there's a fall one that we'll do too, but is organized to get Lego community streamers to come together and kind of just roll constant content from Thursday to Sunday. It allows new people to be discovered, community come together and hang out and chat and talk and learn new things and meet new people. So it's pretty good. Sadly, I didn't get my regular time stream or time frame today, but that's okay. After this, we will have Brick Hive. We'll be doing Good Morning Brick World, so I'm sure a lot of people will be tuning in for that. That's kind of a big thing. Unless you're in Australia and you should go to bed because it's like 3 a.m.
Unless you have
Good
narcolepsy.
energy drinks, they can stay up.
Yeah.
All right, trying to reconnect. I know it has most of my model in there.
It has most of my model.
I couldn't find the corner pieces there at the top for they're old school corners that go directly with those kind of hinge work things, and they look different than what the police ones are. But I mean, like, those work for now. I couldn't find it. It would probably take quite a while to find them, so I was like, I don't want to worry about.
They
that
match.
too much.
They match the yellow pieces.
Yes, like they actually stick out the exact same amount and things like that. I have them on what's called the Cosmic Fleet Voyager, which is old school classic space. Well, I guess I could look up the set, huh?
Yeah,
you could.
These right here. So here's a trick.
Those are them.
This if you highlight this, and you look at the bottom, it says corner convex. So all I did was type in corner convex in the search, and it found that. You could also hit this, and I think find compatible bricks. No, maybe not. I guess not. But yeah, so that would be. I'm gonna jump on your.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that should be a better fit.
Oh yeah, that's the way it should be. Yep.
So there you go.
I'm still trying to load in. It's not letting me connect to you. Interesting.
Bummer.
Yeah, you can see it is loading. It's just sitting there. It's hanging out.
You might have to exit out of it and then try to
Yeah.
I'm gonna save this.
Yeah.
And then try to reconnect. So while this is fun, it's not perfect. It's buggy. It's like any other, like I'm hosting a server to run a game or anything like that. I'm sure there's disconnect, reconnect,
Right.
problems. I don't know how solid their whatever pipes are to host all this stuff, but
yeah, I'm sure if you got like a blank computer just that had this program on there, just to host this, it's pretty powerful. And just leave it as the host, and then everybody else just comes in and does their own thing. It might work better like that.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't do like the only thing I really do on this computer is stream and studio. Like I don't have games on it when I'm not streaming or I'm not in here doing instructions or something. It doesn't do anything else.
Right.
Oh, I got games on mine.
I don't like my video card is like the onboard video card. Like it is standard, no upgraded.
When you render, that thing gets hot.
I have to. So I was doing rendering to the CPU for a while, and it started error because my video card was garbage, and it was taking like 100-piece model was taking like a half hour. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
So I switched it to CPU, and it was working pretty good for a while, but then it started erroring out, and I researched the error, and everyone's like, you're ruining your CPU. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
I never do any. Actually, I do it on my CPU because I know my CPU can handle it.
Yeah, mine is not meant for that at all.
No, I would recommend if you have a laptop to do it on the GPU, the graphics card processor.
Yeah,
and it'll take a while, but it'll get done.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just to go on a quick thing on the rendering, a lot of people just do a high render quality. Mine is a custom, and I do 400 samples per square inch, so I can get a 4K image.
How long does that take?
Well, on mine, since with a Threadripper, 100 say 87,000 piece, I can probably do it in less than about 45 minutes.
Nice.
So I mean, it's pretty fast. If I were to do the vehicle assembly building, that's about an hour and 15. When I had my old computer, it was taking almost 4 to 5 hours, and that was like an old Intel.
Right.
processor. So,
good morning, Triple D. How are you? Thanks for being here.
and you can also change the sizes. Most of my stuff I do in 2304 by 496. That way people can zoom up on it when I post it on Flickr or except for Instagram. I don't like their settings on Instagram because I have to do smaller ones just to fit them in there.
Yeah. This is the only thing I don't like about copy mirror is if you mirror it into the section, it's hard to grab.
Hi, Iceberg Bricks. How you doing?
Iceberg, what's up? Iceberg's good people. He's one of the first people I started watching YouTube streams on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Do I not have Snap?
So, well, mine, I've closed out of studio a couple of times and tried to get back in to connect up, and it's still just sitting there loading.
Yeah, it took a minute for mine to load, and then it stopped saying that Ben wasn't hosting, but that was during his whole talk. It should be up and running now, so it might be internet.
I'll give it time. So while you're putting your pieces on there, so let me ask you this. So I noticed that it has the recent, things that you recently did. Is there a way to expand that so it's like you can have 20 things that are in the recent versus just?
You mean your open? Like if you do file open recent?
No. Like for pieces that so I bring in a piece, put it down, and it's like, hey, this is the first piece, and there's like a little recent window that says this is a piece you recently used. But at least in
you don't need that.
Well, I like it though. It's kind of nice. I was just wondering if I can make it bigger. Where
do you see that? Because I don't think I know where you're.
I saw it when he first brought it up. I think that's a new thing.
Oh, like when you close and reopen, it brings up that thing.
No. This is a separate window when you start a new build. It was a small separate window that said recent on there. It might have been part of the palette.
Here, I go ahead and my screen shared now. You can post it. You can put it in there. There. See where it says recent. So that's a piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like because I'm like, hey, especially if it's things that I've used recently. It's just like, oh, I can just grab it. And from there, I was wondering if I could make that bigger. But now I'm still loading. So
it doesn't look like it. So this is, if you go to view and do show recently used parts, it doesn't look like there's much to it. Like if I did this and if I did that, it changes the part automatically to your last two. But I mean, that's sort of, I feel like that just gets in the way of I know I did that. Just copy and paste, Control C, Control V.
Right.
You can also do, if you just hit C, I'm going to change back to this. If you hit C and change your cursor, now it's got a clone thing on it. If I click on a part, it just continually doubles that part until you hit escape.
See, that's amazing. I like that.
Well, except sometimes I hit Control C thinking I'm hitting Control C to copy it, and I actually just hit C. And suddenly I'm duplicating parts all over the place, and I freak out, and now I've put parts all over, and I'm like, well, where did I put everything?
Hey,
dude, what's up?
How you doing?
Good morning, everybody.
This will be the one and only time you'll see my face. So.
You're right. Get used to that.
Yeah. Because if anyone watches my channel, all you see is the stuff I'm building, which is fine. That's what I like.
See the right side of your head.
Yeah.
You see your hands and sometimes the right side of your head, Johnny.
Yeah, every now and then when it comes into the camera, because I'm like, I gotta get closer so I can see what I'm working on.
It cracks me up every time, because I'll have a build camera too. I almost have the same setup as you do, except you got two build cameras.
Yes.
I've got a face camera and a build camera, and I'll be working on something, and I'll bend down here to get it, and my build camera will show the top of my head, and I'm like, Ooh, somebody needs to get some hymns up in there.
Well, the way I look at it, my perspective is I'm building something. That's where the focus should be. And like me, I'm arbitrary. You can hear me. I can still talk and see what see what people are saying, and that's the interactivity that I want. But like to me, I think because this is my smaller camera. This one is my smaller camera, and then I have my larger camera that kind of looks overview. So I use the smaller camera to kind of get closer, show some of the more detailed type things, and then the bigger camera, to do like the overview of like this is, like something that's just Hogwarts castle that I'm doing. It's just massive.
Yeah,
you gotta need that.
Yeah, I constantly am taking my tripod and like big builds. I'm like, trying to get over the top of it.
Yep.
And I keep wanting to get one of those like Canva arms or whatever, like with the big weighted thing with the reticulation. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna get one of those cheapo. You clip it on the side and it, because the Canva ones are. Oh, we totally lost. That was weird.
Huh.
Totally lost you for a hot second. It just turned
weird.
Off. We did lose. We did lose that.
He's still there.
He's still there.
That was just a weird.
Yeah, it just went. I think you're done. Because I want the ability to like move it around and stuff, but those that you see like the ads on Instagram and stuff, they're like for your phone only. Like there's no camera hookup like on the bottoms of webcam holders or anything. There's no little screw in there to hold on a webcam. And I'm like, man, come on, make a webcam.
Yeah, they don't have one. Yeah, you have to kind of do your own. So, but like my overview camera is a Microsoft one that's specifically designed to be able to go into one of those hinge hole thingies. And so the armature I have works, but yeah, webcam, like I have him on top of a stormtrooper. So he's my holder, and it just has a Velcro on there, and it's like, it works.
Yep.
Hey, Lego Zoner, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream.
Lego Zoner, how's it going?
Oh, this is not joining up. I'm going to close out of studio again.
For those just joining, thank you for joining the 72-hour stream. We got about 15 or so minutes left, 17 minutes until Good Morning Brick World with Brick Hive and Company. We've been tooling around with the build together option in studio, and with partial success, I think maybe it can handle 2 people really well, and 3 people it doesn't really like a whole lot. And I don't know the limitations on my being a host, how to break it, how it drops connections. I'm also working on, and I think Bab's working on his own thing again, and Johnny's trying to work on this.
Come back
in. Like Johnny in real life or just John?
My full name is Jonathan. Certain people call me, I'm Uncle Nodge to some people.
Uncle Nodge? Okay.
That's John backwards.
Yeah.
So, the funny thing is Johnny is not something that like I've used a whole lot, but it seemed to make sense and work, for doing this stream. Cause I do a kids thing during the school year that I help out. We play games and stuff, and I do a thing called Johnny Says because my name's not Simon. So so it just kind of translated to this. Fab's playing around and putting his little emblem on my model. He's like, "You're not here," so yeah.
Oh, you know what's funny? I don't see any of that. It's still not working. It's still not showing.
It's lost. And that's why I can't connect again. So
yeah. Well, let me see. Maybe it does. Yeah, I'm gonna disconnect and then start it up again.
All right, I'll disconnect. I was thinking about making a for sale sign and
just because it's not done.
Yeah.
I'm doing well, Lego Zoner. Thanks for asking. I hope you're enjoying the 72-hour community live stream.
Yes, Gears, I remember that. I do remember that.
Started up again, and it's the same host name as before.
Okay. I was just double
99
checking.
2001 release of the Lego Mindstorms and Lego Studio webcams. Of course. I was never in, like, I never got Mindstorms or anything. That I felt like that was, I was just out of my dark ages in the 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s. I was, so for new AFALs, your dark age is whenever you start playing as a child, because every child plays with Lego.
Right.
And then there's a time when you stop playing with Lego and you either pick it back up or you don't.
Yep.
And when you, as an adult or a late teen, when you pick it back up, you're out of your dark age. Oh, you're able to join?
Yes, I was able to join. So that must have been it.
So when you're at, my dark age ended with Star Wars, basically. Like I had moved from Colorado outside of Pikes, not really outside of Pikes Peak. I was in Denver, which is like an hour and a half away from Pikes Peak. But I had taken all my stuff with me, all the collection of Futron and Mtron and all those like late 80s, early 90s space builds with me over the years. When I moved from Colorado to Texas, but they sat in a bin in bags, right? So I started unearthing them and putting them on shelves, and I was like, I really want to get back into doing this and building and whatever. And I hadn't even tried to do mocks yet. I just wanted to like be more involved in like buying and displaying. And then Star Wars came out like late 99 with their sets to go along with Phantom Menace, and those early Star Wars sets were holy mother. They were not good.
They were rough.
They were blocky and chunky and barely held together, and the figures were kind of like, but I mean, it didn't matter. We bought them all. We just give me, you know. That like the early Slave one was terrible, and it was so small. Anyway, that's what kind of got me out. And I know that, and I thought in the back of my mind, this is what's huge about Lego now is Star Wars. And I didn't realize that almost killed Lego. Like the license for that and trying to push it all out is what nearly brought Lego down. I didn't realize that Bionicle was pretty much what saved Lego. And I was like,
which is so weird to say.
Yeah. And for the whole time, I'm like, every time I would see Bionicle, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen from Lego. Like every time I would see Bionicle, I would never got into it. And I know a lot of people did. And when it went away, a lot of people were sad. But yeah, so that's my dark age as I came out when Star Wars finally came out. I was actually working at a day trading firm at the time, and I was a news reader, which meant I had like a news terminal in front of me, and I would read news headlines to all our different offices. And this is back in the day when you couldn't really get the news feeds into the software, and it was kind of a ad hoc thing. And so I remember reading that Lucasfilm had entered into a cooperative agreement with Lego Limited, or the Lego Group Limited, or whatever it was. And I read that the headline, and it just went over my head. And then a few seconds later, I was like, "Wait, what? What? This speaks to my interests, you know?" And so I was like, it was pops and buzzes the rest of the day. I couldn't even focus. But yeah, I know a lot of people who are like, Bionicle got me out of my dark age, or Star Wars got me out of my dark age, or Ninjago got me out of my dark age. You know, depending on how old you are. And some people never got out. You know, some people were like classic space all the way through, man. It never dropped.
See, me, it was the Star Wars. When the first UCS set came out, I looked at that and I was like, that's what I've been wanting. You know, I've been wanting Lego to do something that was big, that was detailed, and I was like, Star Wars is the place to go with that. Because I saw the little sets, and I got a few of those. I have some of the originals. And, but then I saw the X-Wing, and I was like, that's what I want. But at the time, I couldn't even purchase that. So the first one that I got was the TIE Interceptor. And then I got the Blockade Runner. I'm like, they're just doing better and better. And so, yeah.
Yep. Oh, and early on, my then wife was like, "You're going to spend how much on this?"
Yeah.
Like, well, it's, you know, and now it's like $200 doesn't even feel like anything.
Depending on what it is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, back then you're like, $200. Wow, that's expensive Lego. And now you're like, I guess I could do that this month.
I guess. I mean, it's something I can purchase.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't have to be a day one thing, but I guess I'll do it.
Come on, Mayo. Take a nap. You know, just like sit in your chair, close your eyes.
Mayo, it's like 2 in the morning.
Come on, you should be able to handle it.
So if anybody hasn't, make sure to subscribe to Johnny and Bab. I would also highly recommend going to see Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Saw Barbie.
They were good.
Barbie was hilarious until like the very end, and I was like, "What?" Both my wife and I looked at each other. We're kind of like, "This ending is really, really bizarre." The whole movie has been this really funny, goofy, off the wall. Obviously, not realistic, but hilariously just like partially in the real world. And then like all of a sudden, it's like, what is this weird existential trying to be serious thing?
Yeah,
it was a
little much.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I really liked Oppenheimer, but we went to a double feature that like Oppenheimer started at 11 and Barbie started at 2:15. So Oppenheimer ended at like 2:05 and we had to run to the next theater to get in there and it was one of these theaters that does like beer and dinners and stuff. And so we had to run to get in there to make sure to get like set and get a drink and stuff like that. But it was cool because it was like our decompression from Oppenheimer, which was a very stressful movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was to watch Barbie, and it was kind of a release. And there were parts like there was the joke with the one when they were like de-brainwashing the Barbies, and she's like, "Why?" I just was sitting there going, "Why do I care so much about the Zack Snyder cut?" And I cackled so loud. Like I think like I laughed really loud, and then I like paused, and no one else in the theater was laughing, and I'm like, "Oh, come on!" That was hilarious.
Bab,
because
I'm not
it's so
seeing
true.
You update. I see it on your screen. I don't see it over here. He's putting more tiles.
It was a custom piece. It might not show up.
Oh, wait. Did you put a? Oh no, because I don't see the for sale sign either.
Oh, I put one on there.
Yeah, I don't see it
that.
either. I'm not a big fan of like the build together thing. Apparently.
Well,
maybe it doesn't like 2 people. Maybe it only likes 2.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it like custom parts.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, I think. Oh, we did find that. We have to like custom part. The software has to reread its DAT file to be able to pull it in.
Yeah,
and we won't see that.
Right. Gotcha.
If I restarted and then you guys rejoined, we would probably be able to see that piece again. But
oh yeah. I do like the for sale sign though. That is
very
funny.
clever. I like that a lot. I'm gonna focus on that real quick. That's cute.
It's because what I've started is poo.
No, it's great. I love it.
So this is actually a throwback to another classic space set. I can't remember the name of it, but it looked very much like this, and the legs actually did slide, and made it so you could actually move with it. It was built like this. Like it had a mouth kind of underneath here, and then it had a top one that like you actually built. It had these same pieces for the windows and everything. It had a tail. It was pretty neat. It was a little land walker, and it it actually slid around and you could move it, which was pretty neat.
Was it classic space or was it like Robotron or something? One of those.
Nope, it was classic space. It was this one. It was gray. It was almost all gray, And it was around the time that the Cosmic Fleet Voyager came out, because that's the big ship that I got as a kid, and my older brother actually got this and another one. So yeah, it was definitely classic space. It was before Futuron. So.
Oh, I found it.
See, I forget what it was called.
Is it called the Astro Walker?
Nope, that's the other one. Oh yeah. That's the other one.
Okay.
There it is, right there. Oh, down, right in the middle, right there. Yep.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow, that is. I want to see what Moonstalker.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to watch the video.
No. Who wants?
I love you, Jang, but I'm not watching the video.
Copyright strike. Yeah, that's. I totally forgot the name of it, but yeah, that's cool. It was the coolest.
Somebody
set.
built it in like.
Oh, they did.
It looks like they built it in like LDD or something.
Ah, okay.
Oh, SketchUp. They did it, yeah.
So
but yeah, this is something you could build in.
Yeah, there
studio.
You go.
Yeah, them old hinges and stuff. That's fun.
And that back part with the tail, like the old like armatures that all connect up and stuff. That little ship comes off.
Yeah, I really wish they kept the armature.
Oh yeah,
segmented piece. That is such a great piece. I was trying to do that for this guy. I really wanted it for this guy, for his tail.
Oh yeah.
But you have to do those kind of new hinge pieces, and it makes it really long and big. And that segmented arm would have been great.
Look up one other one that actually has 2 arms, and they're even longer. Look up Robot Command Center. There it is. Yeah.
I think this was one I actually had.
Yeah, because
these were blue.
That one's pretty nuts.
I don't want the.
Another classic, and it's really cool how it's built, because it looks kind of hollow, but then you have a ship and you have a little vehicle that are inside there, and they're kind of trapped in there, and like you have to open those two. They look like eyes.
Swings open like that.
Yep.
Yeah, these pieces were rad. They don't make these anymore either.
No. Yeah, those are awesome.
Those handles
pieces.
with the ring dishes on it.
If Jesse Space Dinosaur, it was cool because he did like his whole. They slid, and you can actually see that with like the hinges and stuff like that. But yeah, it would actually move. This one doesn't move; it just slides.
Canopy pieces here, and good stuff, man.
The old style guns are under there too. The old style blasters, like the little gray ones, they're like right there by those little side pieces too. So many good
blasters / megaphones.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the inspiration for my model. So
I love it. Yeah, you need to get the hinges in there.
Oh, they're in there. I mean, he could slide. Like they actually are. They're bigger than.
They're on rotating. These the rotating ones.
Yep.
Excuse me. Well, this was fun, y'all. It is now nearly 9 o'clock. Thank you to everybody who's been on here. Feel free to jump over to. I'm going to pull up. See if Brick Hive's started yet. We'll pass off when they're ready to go. They're up just yet, but I'll keep that up just so you know. If you guys haven't, make sure to subscribe to Bab and Johnny Builds. They stream. Johnny streams Tuesday nights, usually big builds like Hogwarts Castle, the AT-AT, stuff like that.
Currently what I'm doing, yep.
And then Bab's doing a lot of rocket design. What are you working on now?
Starship,
right. So if you want to check out some good actual real life build or real life rocketry designs, check that out. As always, you can subscribe to me. I do various stuff, including Pickle Space, Vlasic Space. A lot of studio work like this, some builds. So yeah.
Oh, thanks, Adora.
Yeah, thanks.
my thinking, because we've done this a couple times now, like we did a little test stream and stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun, so I think it's something we're going to try to do more often.
Yeah, I think if we can nail down the build together thing, if not, we can each be doing something in studio and just feature what we're doing. It doesn't have to be together, but I think I think we should do more studio stuff.
Yeah.
But so we should definitely work on that.
We should start looking into doing some Lego leagues or Lego news type stuff too.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who do like Lego news stuff, so I'm okay letting other people do that, but absolutely like include that as part of like what we're talking about.
Yeah, just to get a conversation starters.
For sure, yeah. Like coming up next Thursday, we could do this next Thursday. I could turn my Thursday one into like studio design stream and Lego news kind of thing. We can sit here and talk about the new releases that had just come out.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So
we do not talk about Chewbacca though.
We do not talk about Chewbacca.
We do not talk about that Chewbacca.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Brick Hive to go live.
Come on, Brick Hive. I mean,
So
we're having fun.
What's that?
I said we're having fun, but I mean, like, we're supposed to go.
Yeah, I'll just keep building on my my guy here, my pickle. That's the whole idea, is trying to turn these into look like a pickle, like little bumps and stripes and stuff. I think the lightsaber was probably the best thing.
I am so gonna make that. I'm gonna find pieces that'll work, and like I'm gonna make that, and I'm gonna put the little tires on it, make the emitters. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this just in case they're waiting for us to be done. So thanks again for everybody who's in the chat, and flip over to Brick Hive if you'd like. I'll throw a link in here so y'all know where to go. If not, all the links are available in the description. The 72-hour blogspot site's got a listing of everybody.
He's brewing his coffee.
He's brewing his coffee. All right. Awesome. Well, I hope he has a good stream. And it looks like they got about 10 seconds before they start. So I'm going to kick off. You guys have a good time, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.